Alright guys, it's me, TheBladeGamer, of course. Now it's time to talk about E3. Alright, first we'll talk about Microsoft, because they were the first ones to come out. I'm not going to be talking about any third-party developers, just to let you know. Well, I mean, I am if they were in the three main conferences, but I'm not going to be talking about individual third-party conferences such as EA and Ubisoft, so please don't ask me if I'm going to be making videos about those. Alright, here's my reaction to the 360 conference. Average at best. Alright, I don't remember the order in which they announced things, so if I go out of order, just deal with it, please. Let's start with the biggest news first. Kinect. Or no, not Kinect. The Xbox 360 Slim, also known as the Xbox 360 250GB, which is going to be its retail name. I have to say, it's about time, Microsoft. It's only taken you 5 years and about 6 models to finally get a piece of hardware that isn't a complete and utter waste of time. See, my problem with this is that the Red Ring of Death. Technically, you can't get the Red Ring of Death, but that is still kind of fake at the same time. The reason why that is possible is because they removed the red LED lights from the 360 system itself. All that means is that you're not going to get a red indicator when your console has died, most likely from overheating problems. That doesn't mean that the same problem doesn't exist, it's just not the Red Ring of Death anymore. So, for those of you who say, there's not going to be a Red Ring of Death, well, there still might be a Red Ring of Death. We don't know the failure rates yet. My biggest problem is that between 30 and 55% of 360 models had the Red Ring of Death. And I get that the Elite models, the ones with the Jasper chips, were a lot better, but it still did not remove it completely. So don't go into that, oh, they fixed it a long time ago thing. I have to say, if they had reliable hardware, maybe not the exact same design, but if they had reliable hardware like this in the beginning, I might have actually been more of a 360 fan than I would be a PS3 fan, unless they still had as few signature exclusive franchises like they still do now. You know, 90%. I'd say about 90% of Microsoft games are multi-platform. No, I'd say more around 80 to 85%. So, let's just not worry about percentages. But yeah, that's a good thing they finally have built-in Wi-Fi, a good size hard drive. The Elite hard drive was pretty good, but it's a good thing they had a better hard drive. Built-in Wi-Fi is the biggest thing. It is whisper quiet, like they say. You can hardly hear it. The power brick has just gone to huge now instead of ginormous, and you can't kill a baby if you accidentally drop it, probably. Golly, that was just kind of twisted. Alright, the next biggest news, Kinect. Now, Kinect is actually a pretty decent piece of hardware. There's two problems with it. The price, $150, that's half the price of a system. Actually, it is the price of a system if you get the arcade model now. And on top of that, the launch title games are horrible. Kinectimals, Kinect Sports. You criticize Nintendo for bringing bad games at first, and then you now do the exact same thing. I'm sorry, but the Kinect lineup looks absolutely horrible. The only two games that look good on it is that one dance game and that one exercise game, and that is for the casual and the casual only. There is a Sonic Riders game that looks fairly fun, but not everyone likes Sonic Riders. So Kinect, they have I would say that it would be a good lineup or I wish it would be a good lineup because it is an impressive piece of hardware. But the lineup failed, which means the Kinect launch will most likely fail this holiday season. And don't get into the Star Wars game. It was incredibly slow-paced, and it was staged the entire time. It was pre-rendered. It wasn't real-time, so don't get your hopes up for that game either. And on top of that, the Star Wars games recently haven't been that good except for The Force Unleashed. Anyway, the entire conference, they only announced one signature exclusive that was unannounced, and it was a game with Crytek called Codename Kingdom. The trailer had live-action cutscenes, or live-action actors, I should say, so it was not in-game, so it didn't display the game's power or graphics, so that was unimpressive. And from what it seems, it's a gladiators-type game like God of War. So basically, they're trying to rip off God of War now. I'm not blaming Microsoft, I'm blaming Crytek. They're basically trying to make a God of War killer, which will most likely fail miserably. Gears of War 3, Forza for the Kinect. I don't know if it's the fourth game or just one that's exclusively for Kinect. Halo Reach. I mean, they're good games, yes, but we've heard of them already. You can show us a trailer and a demo any other day of the year. Why show it at E3? It'll be just as impressive not at E3 as it would be seeing it for the first time in E3. I can understand why you have like them set up in booths and stuff like that, but I cannot see how you base your entire conference, half of your entire conference, off of things that have already been announced. Like I said, you can see a trailer and a demo of it any other day of the year, so it's not that impressive to actually reveal it at E3. Let's see, what else is there? They announced ESPN on Xbox Live. That's good if you're a sports fan because you get access to almost every single type of sports game and possibly every game there is already included into your Xbox Live Gold. So if you're a sports fan, that's pretty good, but that was actually probably the second most impressive thing at the Microsoft convention. And what else did I have to say? Fable 3, again, not that impressive. The only Kinect support that they've shown is when you can reach out and touch people. How is that supposed to immerse you into the game if you're not actually using that for combat? If all you're going to do is pat someone on the shoulder and go, like, okay, good pal, or whatever. That was a really stupid example. It's not impressive at all. So hopefully they'll fix that. And also, recently, since I've been making this video a while after E3, they've also announced that Fable 3 might be released in episodes instead of a full game. Well, actually, they are releasing a full game. However, they are releasing it in episodes, and the first episode is free. However, it's only about an hour. So if it'll be cheaper, if it'll be more expensive, I really don't know right now. But so far, Fable 3 is not looking to be the game that everyone wants. I've never played Fable, so I'm not that interested to begin with, but it doesn't look that great, to be quite honest. So that was basically the majority of the Microsoft conference. It was very disappointing. I mean, I'm a fan of all game systems and gaming in general. I like handheld gaming, except for maybe on the iPad and iPhone, because that's just kind of it's not a serious gaming platform, basically. I'm all for all kinds of gaming. But Xbox, this generation, has been very disappointing. Almost all their games are multi-platforms. The games that they do have exclusive aren't franchises. They're just one game and one game only. The franchises that they do have, they rarely release any games for those franchises, such as Halo and Gears of War. There's only been 3 Gears of War games. There's only been 2 Halo games made by Bungie, at least, this generation. Whereas Mario games, there's a lot more. So I'm very disappointed with Microsoft this E3. It wasn't horrible, but it just wasn't good. I'd have to give this an average, which is a 3 out of 5. Directly in the middle. It just wasn't that good. You may hate on me because I'm just disappointed with stuff that's already been announced for a very long time. But that's just me. When I go to E3, I like to see unannounced things or a small update on things that have been announced and not like half the conference based on things that have already been announced. So guys, that's it for this video. This is TheBladeGamer. See you next time.